Today we're going to look into the GLP-1 drama with Serena Williams. Now I'm going to hold your hand while I say this. We are not bashing anybody taking GLP-1s. If you take it, it's your body and your choice, and everybody has different reasons for taking these medications. But we are going to look into some of the conversations that have been had around this topic, especially regarding Serena's promotion of the drug. And I've already had loads of messages on Instagram saying you can't criticize people's medical decisions, but this is not what this is. It stopped being a private medical decision when she became the face of a campaign and her husband was investing in it. And we are allowed to push back on things that can be potentially problematic or things that just need to be discussed generally. Grab your tea. I've got peppermint tea today. It's like my massive chipped mug, but I needed more because it's getting colder and I wanted more tea, like a litre of tea. And get comfortable because we're going to go through a couple of videos. First, we've got Bailey Haslam.
Yes, I'm on row. They say GLP-1s for weight loss is a shortcut. It's not. It's science. After kids, it's the medicine my body needed. GLP-1s helped me lose 31 pounds. One app to hit my goals. This is healthcare. This is Row. I'm Serena Williams, and I'm a real Row member.
Honestly, for me, this is pretty devastating. One of the strongest, fittest, most athletic women in the world is now promoting a weight loss drug to drop a few dress sizes. Not to mention, her husband is an investor in the company. So you may be fooled, but I am not. This isn't about health. This is about marketing and a fat paycheck. Now, don't get me wrong. These medications save lives. For people who have been struggling with obesity their whole lives, who have serious health risks, who have medical conditions, but a world-class athlete using it to go from a size 12 to a size 8, that's not health. That's society crashing in on women, believing they'll never be enough unless they're a smaller version of themselves. Because if Serena Williams, the GOAT of tennis, who has built a legacy on strength, muscle, power, still pushes weight loss drugs, what message is that sending to the next generation?
Exactly that. What message is it sending? As someone that looked up to Serena Williams for a really long time, she's so athletic and so strong and just amazing at her sport. It hit like a gut punch to see that she was doing this. I know part of that is my stuff and my own projection. I have a history of eating disorder and I do struggle with the perception of my own body, and I have had a very difficult relationship with food and my own body in the past, and honestly I still do. And that's the other thing, is like maybe she does have those struggles herself. Like she has experienced a lot of online abuse, people tearing her down because of the way she looks, and that is not okay. And actually it's absolutely understandable that somebody with her size of platform would cave to that pressure, and especially after having kids where there's this whole bounce back culture. It makes sense. As she said, part of the problem is that it's marketing. It's about making money, and her partner is an investor, and she's using her platform as like one of the most athletic people on the planet to be like, even I have to take GLP-1s. Even I need to lose the baby weight after I've given birth. It's not phrased in a way that it's about health. Loads of people messaged me when I spoke about it on my own social media saying that maybe it's about health. Her family has a history of diabetes. We don't know why she's taking it. And yes, like it's fine to take it for health for all of those reasons, but that's not what she said. She said that she needed to take it in order to drop down pounds after having a baby. It's the way it's marketed that's the problem, not the reason that she's taking it. I don't know how much clearer I can be about that, to be honest, because every time I've spoken about this I've got backlash. But I mean, hopefully, like going through a couple of these, we'll start to see the reasons why this is problematic, and how at the same time we can say, look, it's okay to take these if these are an option that you need and they are going to help you with your health. It's also important to be aware of all the risks, but it's okay for you to do what you want to do with your body. But in the same vein, it's okay to criticize Serena Williams capitalizing on her own platform and reputation to promote something like this. And also I should probably add that I'm from the UK, and promotion of drugs, especially in this way, is very, very unusual. I have been to the US and I turned on my TV and oh my God, the rampant promotion of drugs, it was insane, of like pharmaceuticals. And they were like, obviously they have to list off the side effects, and they're always like, death, amputation, like this long list of like horrendous things, like cancer that could happen to your body. if you take the drugs. And it was just so surreal to me to just put on my TV, and we don't get advertised medication, to put on my TV and see that. It hit me. I was shell-shocked. So yeah, I understand that I'm also seeing it through my lens of like, I'm from the UK and people don't promote drugs here. Next we've got Alex Light.
Serena Williams has lost a ton of weight using Ozempic, and now she's partnered with a pharmaceuticals company to promote it. She's their celebrity ambassador. Now look, all power to Serena for her bodily autonomy. She can do whatever she wants, and she has every right to make choices that feel best for her health and her life. That part's not up for debate. But what I struggle with is that she's not just saying, oh, I take a GLP-1, she's literally promoting it. She's fronting a campaign, and that's no longer a private medical decision anymore, because that's advertising. And when someone with Serena's cultural weight endorses a drug like Ozempic, it normalizes its use on a mass scale. And here's where I think it gets even more insidious, is that to promote this, Serena said, I am a very good use case of how you can do everything. Eat healthy, work out to the point of even playing professional sport and getting to the finals of Wimbledon and the US Opens and still not being able to lose weight. Now look, I am obviously not a doctor, so take this with a pinch of salt, but to me, that quote is less a confession of failure and more like just the shining truth. If you can do all of that, if you can live in one of the most disciplined, active, physically extraordinary bodies on the planet and still not be thin, it's because you're not supposed to be. That's where your body sits. That's its equilibrium. And selling a drug to override that and override your body's natural weight set point feels really jarring. It risks telling women everywhere that even if your body is capable of feats beyond imagination, it still isn't good enough unless it's smaller. I can hold respect for Serena's personal choice and still contest the way that this is being packaged and sold, because let's be very clear that these drugs are serious medications with side effects, access issues and unknown long-term consequences. Presenting them through glossy photo shoots and celebrity endorsements risks turning them into like must-have lifestyle accessories instead of what they are, pharmaceuticals, drugs. We have to question a culture that keeps turning private medical interventions into aspirational marketing, especially when women's insecurities are the fuel driving all of this. Serena Williams herself has admitted that her body isn't meant to be thin, so why are we so desperate to medicate other women into shapes that they were never designed to hold?
That's exactly it. She's potentially fighting her natural set point weight. Set point is proven. There's lots of studies on the set point weight, and health isn't a one size fits all. But that's the problem with our culture, is we present health to be this one thing that looks like a certain body type that often within media is promoted by fitness models that are super duper lean and made to look a certain way, and we think that's what fit and healthy looks like. But that actually isn't the case. Fit and healthy looks different on everybody, and her statement there, it makes it so clear how skewed our perception of what health and fitness, like a good weight for someone to be at, is so skewed. Because even if one of the fittest people on the planet feels like they need to lose weight, there's something wrong with the system as a whole, not with her and her body. And again, she is older. She comes from a completely different era where there was a lot more pressure as well on being thinner. So she is even further indoctrinated into the idea that thinness equals health. I wish more of us could see that actually we could focus on health in lots of different ways, like exercising, eating better, and not just concentrate on losing weight. Because a lot of the time when people are taking these drugs, they're not actually eating healthy, they're just eating a lot less, and rapid weight loss isn't good for you. It can increase muscle loss, bone density loss. I mean, I personally have experienced the rapid health decline that comes with rapid weight loss. It's bad, and I'm healthier now in my larger body than I was when I was rapidly losing weight and super duper thin. And whether weight loss comes from GLP-1 or it comes from just eating less, it can still have the same negative health implications if you do it badly and you do it too quickly. Next, we've got Erica Villani.
We need to have a real conversation about the GLP-1 controversy that is everywhere right now. Taking a GLP-1 does not mean that you are cheating. It doesn't make you lazy or undisciplined. It is simply a tool that you can use while you still have to do the work. And there is a problem with abusing GLP-1s and the mass promotion of taking it to get as skinny as possible, because that also has long-term health consequences. When you start losing muscle and bone density because you are eating so little just to get as small as possible, we could argue that that has just as big health consequences as being overweight. But does that mean that everyone on a GLP-1 falls into that category? No, absolutely not. like any other drug, there will be people who abuse it. So labeling anyone who takes a GLP-1 as being lazy or vain or just trying to get as skinny as possible at any cost is actually really ignorant. And as a coach who has worked with clients on GLP-1s, I need you to understand that it makes it even more imperative and more important that you are nailing your nutrition and strength training. It doesn't get you off the hook, because if you don't do those things, there are negative health consequences to not doing those things on a GLP-1 as well. Let's be clear. And this is why I don't push GLP-1s on clients, and I don't shame clients for getting on a GLP-1, because it is such a nuanced personal decision for that person to determine if it is the right choice for them. If they do need to get their nutrition and their workouts down first before getting on it, or if maybe a GLP-1 might help them to get more consistent with those things. So let's stop making uneducated, ignorant comments about GLP-1s. And remember that if you don't know someone's entire medical history, blood work, and their life, you have no business making judgments about their choices around their body. Okay?
This is so true, and I think this is where there's a difference between the criticism of Serena Williams and actually the criticism of people taking GLP-1s, because they're not the same. People are criticising Serena Williams because of the promotion and because she's using her very specific platform built on being a woman that is stronger and fit and plays tennis, and then using that to influence people to say, or even I need to take it, especially targeting postpartum women, which is particularly problematic. And then there's the other side of it where there are loads of people that are taking GLP-1s and receiving a lot of shame, and that is not okay. It's never okay to shame somebody for their medical decisions, and I don't think anybody that's made these videos on Serena Williams is saying she should not be taking it, she's a bad person for taking it, or any of that. I mean, it's questionable that she is taking it, because from the outside it seems like it is more of an aesthetic decision, but we don't know that. We don't know why she originally started taking it. There may have been some health reasons why she originally started taking it, but the way she's promoting it, it sounds like it's purely for aesthetics and weight loss and to drop the pounds. Both things can be true. We can criticize the promotion and what has happened here, and then we can also hold true that actually it's not okay to criticize people that have decided to take these drugs. Just the same as it's not okay to criticize anybody for whatever they do with their body anyway. Even like the criticism a lot of us get for not taking GLP-1s. Like, it's insane. I don't understand why other people think they have a say in what you should do with your body. But she's also so right that if you do go on them, you need to focus on nutrition, making sure that you're healthy as possible, especially if you're going on it for health reasons. You need to actually focus on your health at the same time and not just see it as a magic pill that's going to fix you, because it's not. Sorry if I butcher her name. Next we've got Jamie Karoma, I think we say it.
Look, you can do whatever you want with your body. You can lose weight, you can do Botox, get a surgery done, you can wear makeup, you can do anything you want with your body. And that message is everywhere, that you can do that, right? I'm just trying to give you the other message, which is that you don't have to.
That's it. You don't have to. You can just exist, which seems to be the secret third option that nobody even knows about. But like I mean, I don't do anything. I don't do Botox. I mean, I do wear makeup and I dye my hair, but I tend to dye my hair not for like appearance purposes, but more just because I want pink hair. And also now we've got extra colours in there. There's like bits of orange and like some of it's fading, and I kind of like how it's fading, but like other people would be like, oh, you should re-dye it because it's fading. It's like, no, like I like it like this. It's like an art form, and you can do whatever you want with your body, and you don't have to as well. And I think more people do need that message. So this is a text post that Jamila Jamil put out, and I gather that it's got like 76,000 likes. I think it got a fair amount of backlash, a fair amount of support at the same time. I'm not going to read her whole caption, but I'll read this bit. So, Serena Williams is selling GLP-1s. The thing I feel most uncomfortable about here is celebrities having access to doctors most others don't have access to. These miracle weight loss drugs come at a price. The side effects can include paralysis of the gastric system, pancreatitis, cancer, hair loss, osteoporosis, severe malnutrition, muscle mass loss, depression. There have been reports of suicide. I think for that reason, I'm actually not allowed to take it because I've got bipolar disorder. Thyroid issues, blindness, and they can really wreak havoc on your metabolism. If for some reason you suddenly have to come off, many people gain weight back and then some fast, and it's much harder then to lose. Nobody tells you these things in adverts and media. You need blood tests, DEXA scans, nutritionists, a dedicated weights regime to maintain muscle mass and bone density. You need medical support. If things go wrong, you don't have billions of dollars to fix it. That's why I don't like celebrities pushing drugs with such drastic documented side effects. And I think that's a really good point, is a lot of people don't have the funds or the access to a lot of doctors that would be able to support Serena Williams, but like aren't going to be able to support the regular person down the road. And that is another huge problem. I think a lot of the time people that look for things that are going to help them reach their goals quickly don't necessarily want to engage in stuff that might take a longer time, such as going to the gym. And it's actually so important that you do both at the same time so you don't experience the muscle loss and the bone loss. So that's where it's a bit of an issue. When things are presented as like a magic pill, people do take it as a magic pill, and yeah, they lose the weight, but then they also end up with loads of health implications too. And I feel like these things aren't spoken about enough. I think the awareness should be there, and people shouldn't be going into this blindly thinking it's going to fix their life and make them feel so much better about their body. Because that's the other point, actually, is that people that lose weight dramatically, they don't necessarily feel better about their body. In fact, I felt worse about my body when I lost weight, and I feel better about my body now than I have in a very long time. And that's very confusing because my body now doesn't look like the beauty standard that we kind of have as a society. There are loads of different pieces to this argument that I think should be acknowledged. Next is a video from Chris Holt. It says, practicing my speech for when another person gains all the weight back after stopping their GLP-1 shots.
Oh my God, I cannot believe it. That is shocking and devastating.
Yeah, he's got quite a lot of backlash in these comments as well for saying that, like, which is weird because it's true. Like, it's pretty well documented that a lot of people gain the weight back, and that's also because the drug, it reduces food noise, but it doesn't necessarily teach you how to reduce the amount you eat or have better nutrition all round or any of that. It makes sense. And also, as somebody that when I was on SAS Who Dares Wins, we were starved, and like literally starved. Like, we were probably on 600 to 800 calories a day. It was ridiculous. I lost 6 kilos in a week, and I rapidly gained weight afterwards. And I think that's part of the reason actually why I rebounded so hard after then. Like, it basically, my weight just kept going up and hadn't really stopped until around the last year or so, where it sort of stabilized. And then there's the Minnesota starvation study. Like, all of that shows that rapid weight regain happens after rapid weight loss, and then the weight is more difficult to lose after you've gained it. So I think that's another important part of the conversation that a lot of people aren't having. This is Shauna Rush, and she is getting off GLP-1s and talking about her experience.
Well, I asked for it. I told y'all I'm getting off my GLP-1. I asked for your insight and the horror stories that are flooding in. I feel like I'm going to be right back on this dang medication. Does anybody have a positive reaction? I know there were a few, but just a few. Literally, maybe 2 people said that they felt good off of the GLP-1. Does anybody else have any good experiences coming off of this? Because I feel like I'm going to be right back on it. Because y'all got me scared. And I'm not worried about gaining weight. I lost 38 pounds in 2020 and I kept it off. I maintained it myself for 5 years. I went on the medication to help inflammation and night sweats and some of the symptoms for perimenopause, because I started reading up on a GLP-1 and the benefits it had towards women like me that are in perimenopause. Decided to get on the GLP-1 train. But now that I'm about to get off, I'm hearing my symptoms are going to come back with a vengeance. And now I'm terrified. So I know I asked for that. Somebody tell me something good.
So I was just scrolling through the comments while I was watching the video, and there were loads of people saying they gained all the weight back. Some were saying I only gained a little bit back. Others were saying they battled with inflammation. There are a lot of people in the comments that are saying, yes, there are side effects. There are some people that are saying it wasn't that bad. It seems like mixed results. I guess that's it. You don't know when you come off them. You don't know when you go on them that if when you eventually come off them, you're going to have side effects like that. And she obviously went on it for health management, like managing her perimenopause symptoms, which is so valid. But obviously if those all come back when she comes off it, and like being on it full time is not sustainable, that's an issue in itself. And that's where we should have like more advice around this. Like, is there something else that she could have taken instead to manage those symptoms instead of taking GLP-1? I found it interesting that she said that she'd lost weight and she kept it off for 5 years, and then presumably after those 5 years she gained it back again, from what she was saying. And that actually, if we look at the research, is the point where most people do gain the weight back. And I'm a similar story. I lost 100 pounds and then I kept it off for about 5 years, and then I hit the 5-year mark and I gained it all back again. And that is, it's kind of linked to the whole set point weight theory and all of that. Your body starts to like readjust. I had some other health stuff going on and I literally just smashed my body into the ground with intensity to the point where I burnt out my adrenals, and then loads of issues with cortisol. We've tested it. Like, it's a thing. It does seem to be super common that people gain weight back after that 5-year mark, especially those of us that are trying to keep our weight at a level that's unnaturally low for us. It's just something to keep in mind, especially when we think about Serena promoting these drugs to the masses. It isn't really in the marketing, obviously, that when you come off it, when you can't afford it anymore, or because you need to come off it for some other reason, that actually you might end up with all of these other symptoms and all of these other problems potentially caused by the drug in the first place. And those pounds that she lost or whatever might just end up going back on again. So this is Rennie McGregor. She is quite a well-respected nutritionist, a nutrition scientist, I believe. She has in her bio dietitian, leader in athlete nutrition, REDS and hormonal health. I've got one of her books that's on like training nutrition. It's very good. She's very good generally. She's not like social media influencer style content though, but her knowledge is spot on.
I've taken a few days to think about how to respond to this story that has broken out about Serena Williams and the use of the GLP-1 weight loss injection. Ultimately, obviously, everybody has a choice. However, I think the things I'm worried about is that Serena is not the demographic that these drugs have been made for. That's a really important factor. Secondly, as someone who I've always admired, because she has faced so much scrutiny about her body over her career, and yet despite all of that, she's put the hard work in. She's obviously incredibly talented and she has dominated her sport. And yet here we are. She has made this choice to not only use the drug, but to become the face of the drug. And that feels very disappointing and also very concerning. You know, like, we know that there are negative consequences to taking this medication, particularly if you are not someone who needs to. She spoke about taking it for her health, and yet I would say she's definitely somebody that advocates and follows healthy behaviors and probably has very good health metrics, and yet she has succumbed to the pressure of what her body looks like. As someone who works with many people who struggle with body image, I'm really deeply saddened that we are back here again, and I can only say, please remember, what you look like is the least interesting thing about you, and actually what your body can do is so much more powerful.
Yes, that final message, like what your body can do is so much more powerful. And also focusing on like actual healthy behaviors and your health metrics, which people don't seem to realize, but like blood pressure, resting heart rate, like actually having your bloods taken, like there are loads of ways that you can focus on your health which are independent of weight. She makes very good points. I was scrolling through the comments as well and she's actually got lots of positive feedback. I could have said the same thing and I would have got a lot of backlash, but it's fine. Like she knows her stuff. She's very well respected. So, and she absolutely nailed the points of why this is an issue. Serena is not the target demographic, and like she's one of the fittest people on the planet. So that's why it's one of the reasons it's so problematic that she's actively promoting it. Not that she's taking it, but that she's actively promoting it. And next we've got Danielle Burnett.
Targeting postpartum women with GLP-1 medication is inherently gross to me. Like, you're telling me, a woman who just gave birth, who did the single most difficult thing a human being can physically do with their body, you're telling me the next immediate step that you want that person to take is to lose weight when they've just gone through the most insane body trauma that they could ever go through. They've literally created human life, and you're like, lose weight. Because why in the Serena Williams like GLP-1 ad, it's like, want to know how I lost weight after the baby? The whole marketing campaign is targeting postpartum women. It's targeting moms. And it's like they should just be able to enjoy the fact that they're with their child and be excited about being with their child. Instead, it's just like weight loss ad over and over again. Okay.
Yeah, that's how it feels as well to a postpartum woman myself. It's been a while, but like it is ridiculous. And yeah, you don't want to be focusing on that. You want to be focused on like being a parent, and like it's hard. It's really hard being a new parent. Like it's non-stop. You don't get any breaks. You're under so much stress. And part of it as well is if you start taking GLP-1s like after you give birth, your body hasn't recovered yet. Like all of your muscles are trying to figure themselves out again and like go back to where they're supposed to be. Like especially like your abdominal muscles and stuff. And like you're hopefully trying to go back to the gym, trying to get fit and healthy, and drugs like this can just work against you, especially if your body is trying to heal. It needs nourishment to do that, and then you're intentionally undernourishing it. That can be super problematic for your own health. You also have issues with like connective tissue after you've given birth, loads of things. And I think there's like a bone density thing as well. I can't remember. There's basically pregnancy fucks with you like majorly, like does a load of stuff to your body, and taking drugs to make yourself thinner newly postpartum is only going to make matters worse. It's not going to make things better. And I know the pressure is so hard when you're postpartum and your body looks completely different to how it's ever looked and you feel bad about yourself. But if we try and help more women think about health first rather than targeting them with drugs to make them look a certain way, I think the world would be a better place and it would be easier for us to just exist as we are. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this discussion. Please also focus on the fact that I haven't said she shouldn't be taking them, and I've definitely not shamed her for taking them at any point, because I'm bored of that take now. We're focusing on the promotion of this drug and the fact that she has chosen herself to promote this drug with the platform that she has, 18 million Instagram followers, and then also is an investor in the company. That's the issue here. You deserve to love your body exactly as it is, and if you want a video after this to make you feel a little bit better about yourself and just see some representation of bodies that maybe look like yours, then watch this video next. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.